Well, this is going to be a drastic tonal shift. We go from blood and boobies in the last review to cute little kitty cats in this one. Well, here goes. Kenji Miyazawa was a Japanese author who was unfortunately virtually unknown during his lifetime, but posthumously he became highly influential to Japanese culture. Several of his stories have been adapted into theatrical plays and anime. Of his children's novels, Night on the Galactic Railroad is probably the most well-known. In fact, it has been required reading for many Japanese school children, and in 1985 it was adapted into this anime film. Portraying the characters as cats was the film crew's choice, and it's an interesting one, as Miyazawa himself reportedly didn't even like felines. He thought they could be just as selfish as humans, and yeah, fair enough. But apparently it was a good fit, because they were used again for The Life of Gus Goobadori, an adaptation of another Miyazawa novel, and Spring and Chaos, a fanciful biography of the author's life. Although these mostly expressionless cat faces are a bit creepy. Another interesting choice was presenting all the film's text in the Esperanto language, which the author was fascinated with. And let me just get this out of the way. This film is fucking gorgeous. Of course, time hasn't really been kind to this film, but some of this scenery looks like it belongs in a museum. It's even more impressive when you consider it was released in 1985. Now, the English version was released in 2001 by Central Park Media, and stars Veronica Taylor and Crispin Freeman, the latter of which actually did some of the translation. And with voice acting veterans like those, it shouldn't surprise you that they did a great job. So, what's the story? In the simplest terms, Giovanni and Campanella ride a mysterious train that travels along the Milky Way, seeing strange and beautiful things in the process. But if you think it's just a cute cat movie, prepare to be surprised. The mood slowly shifts from whimsical and surreal to somber and, well, spiritual. And I really wish I had a better word for that. But before I go any further, my next comments may just spoil the whole thing. So if you have any interest in watching Galactic Railroad, I encourage doing that first. Or spoilers. So anyway, it deals with the concept of mortality in a surprisingly graceful way, and champions the virtue of self-sacrifice, of putting the needs of others above your own. It also touches on the merits and the mystery of religion, without ever championing a specific one. And if you can make an atheist feel something from that, you know you've done something right. And the film comes to a close in a pretty bittersweet way, with both joy and sadness, and such is life. Or some shit like that. And sadly, I know this film won't appeal to everyone. It is quite slow-paced, has long passages without dialogue, and a good chunk of the film doesn't really follow a plot. But if you can find a quiet night to sit back, relax, and just take it all in, then I highly recommend giving it a watch.